Capital Development Fund. A couple of items in here. You can see the $285,000 that has been put in there for the South Main construction and Kunz construction. Hopefully, if we're successful in deferring the Kunz project until next year, or at least until later on in the year, we'll be able to save some of those funds. Eventually they're going to come out of there, but it all is a cash flow issue. As I looked at the receipts, which are the utility taxes, I basically looked at the receipts and increased them very little. And once again, we know as far as utility taxes, that is based upon the weather that we have. The better the weather, the cooler the temperatures in the spring. You don't use the electricity and gas, those types of things. Receipts will be down. We know that we had a mild year last year, and receipts went down a little bit, or they didn't go up as much as otherwise may have been predicted. If the economy turns around, we've got businesses, if they're producing, if they've got people working, that will increase the electricity usage. So there's a lot of things. The economy has come into play, obviously, in many aspects of this particular budget. But you can see here that the receipts were projected to increase slightly, but not a great degree, and hopefully they will increase more than we've projected. But getting back to the expenditure side, this basically, the projects that we see in here, the Milton Street improvement and the Temple Street sidewalk, are carryovers from last year. The addition is the $285,000 from the motor fuel tax fund. You'll see right underneath the street construction there's a $15,000 line item that says it's the Velmeyer Bridge Structural Analysis. That is the bridge on Velmeyer Road that is just to the west of the bowling alley. I mean, it's as you pass the bowling alley, that's the bridge that you go over. And Ron checked to find out, because we thought there was a possibility that bridge was in the TIF district, which means TIF funds could be utilized in order to do the structural study. And indeed it is in the TIF district, and we would propose moving that out of capital development into the TIF district.
I want to add that there is sufficient money in the tax increment financing district to cover the $15,000 that would be moved to that fund. We're anticipating having a balance of cash of $134,000 after the real estate tax receipts are received and the money is paid out to all the businesses that are in the TIF, and the bond principal and interest payments are made. So I just wanted to reassure you that that could be moved to the tax increment financing district fund, and there would still be money left in the fund.
Other items in the capital development fund, you can see we still have in the Main Street streetscape, and the city's share of that, apparently that's an approximately 2/3, 1/3 grant, and the 170 would be offset by the receipt of 170 that we're showing on page 24. Transfer to the public bond sinking fund, we reduced that slightly from 420 to 360. Taking into consideration that we feel on the Old Town bond, on the Old Town project, we're going to have probably approximately $60,000 or more of unexpended funds that will then be transferred back into that bond seeking fund. And so if you take a look at those funds, you'll see that is there too. We would anticipate next year that that would go back to the $420,000 in the capital development fund, but for 1 year that'll at least give us a little bit of a respite to keep more cash in there than otherwise we would have, and hold on to it hopefully. I'm not sure exactly where we stand on the library building fund on the roof bids. which we might discuss a little bit later on this evening. But if their bids come in, you might recall that we were utilizing $30,000 of the library building fund and $65,000 from the capital development fund in order to fund an anticipated $95,000 roof. If the bids come in less than that, we will not be transferring all of those funds. What we would do is take a look to see what the cash flow looks like for that library building fund, because if you look at their budget, they would be at about $1,000 in the account on April the 30th if everything was spent. So we would have to do a little cash flow analysis to figure out how much we might want to transfer in, depending upon what the roof bids come in. Certainly no more than the $65,000 though. On Regis's contract that's coming up, I probably will look to the new contract year coming up in December. We probably will bid that out. If we continue with Regis, we probably will drop the number of hours just to conserve cash. I think they do a very good job, and I haven't talked with Joe. Most of the work is done at the police department. We'll have to take a look at that and see if we can pare back on that. All the expenses basically that we've got, we're going to take a look at to see what we can do to reduce them. Some of the larger expenses is what I'll be working on first. And as far as electricity supplied to the city, not the street lights, because we have to stay with Ameren on the street lights, those are not metered. But on the electricity that is supplied to the buildings and to other items that are metered, I have been contacted by several different companies that I think through the deregulation of electricity, they may be able to give us better rates, and it's still going to be delivered over the Ameren IP lines. So I'm going to get together with Ron as soon as we can get the budget finalized here, probably sometime latter April, maybe early May. We'll put some bid specifications together. We will send out our utility bills, because that's what these companies tell me they need, and plan to have them submit their proposed contract to us and what fees they've got, how much they feel they could save us on electricity versus what we're currently paying to Ameren. I know other cities have taken a look at this, and there are some consultants out there that will help you with that, and I know that Tom Adams had sent the name of a consultant to Ron and I that Tom had met. I think we'll meet with the consultant just to see what they have, but I've probably got 4 or 5 different companies that have contacted me, and we'll be sending out a bid notification to them to see what we can do. Items like that is what we're going to be working on throughout the course of the year, whether it be on the electricity or other items that, you know, we would take a look and see where we're spending most of our monies, and that's where we're going to be concentrating our efforts. But even items that we may not be spending a lot of monies on, if we can reduce the services that we're getting, and it's not going to make that much of a difference to the city, we're going to do that. I know one of the items that we discussed last year, and we did reduce it, although I think we're going to reduce it even more, and it's a minor expense, but nonetheless every expense is an expense. We went last year on the mat care here at the City Hall from weekly to bi-weekly, which we are right now. I think we're probably going to cut that down to monthly, except in the winter time we probably will then go back to bi-weekly. Not a great deal of savings to be had there, but every little bit is going to help. I've asked Ron to take a look to see how much in that particular vein he needs as far as mat care is concerned. Just all items like that, we're going to be taking a look at all of those as the year goes by.